many people are shopping online, and we already kind of get used to shopping online. And sometimes what happens is, let's say I'm going to buy shoes, a pair of shoes. Maybe I go to a shop to try if it fits, which model, which is good. And then I find a special campaign online where I can buy it, I don't know, 20, 30% cheaper or half price. So I definitely, my consumer behavior is to buy cheaper online. So what happened to the retail model?
People will buy online. That will not change, right?
Yeah.
I buy online. You can also not beat the fact that people will go into your store and look at their and find an option and have it shipped home, and it's going to be probably already on their doorstep, not today, but when things are back to normal, on their doorstep before they're even home, right? So they don't even have to walk around with bags anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to walk around with
So
bags.
it's got several advantages. So you see, of course, trends that more and more brands are taking over the value chain, and they're creating their own flagships, and they're taking control over their own retail. Tesla is a good example of a company that, of course, owns their own retail locations. Apple stores, they have more influence on what the experience is going to be, and I guess that's my point. I think retail will become more and more the moment of brand connection and brand engagement. It needs to be more and more of an experience rather than just a shopping destination, because the actual buying can happen anywhere. And even if if you sold the product to the person and they can get 25% somewhere else, they will buy it probably somewhere else. And this is, of course, something that you cannot beat. So for Nike, it doesn't matter if you buy the shoe online, or you buy the shoe in their store. So what they need to do, they need to create an interactive experience. And we, for example, helped them launch a football shoe where you could test the shoe and you can see how fast you wore them. And it became kind of a competition, and people were lining up to test out the shoes. People didn't buy the shoes. Some of them didn't even play football. That's not the point. The point here was that people engage with the brand in an interactive way. And I think that's where retail is going.
From the classical ways of advertisement, like printing or radio or television, what now works and what doesn't?
With printing, of course, disappearing entirely and everything going digital. Netflix added another 50 million subscribers in Q1 in 2020. They're growing more than ever. More of those video streams are popping up, of course, with Disney and Amazon, of course. So there's, and if you pay a certain amount, let's say you pay $10 a month, you don't have advertisement in your life. And people gladly pay that so they don't have advertisement in their life. I don't listen to radio. I could listen to all kinds of radio channels. And in this region, there's still a lot of people that do listen to radio in their car. I have my Spotify in the car. I want to pick the kind of music that I like, and I have Spotify dollars. So I basically spend $30 every month to block advertisement out of my life. And when we talk to brands and we talk about advertisement, like, how can we reach these people? Because advertisement is not efficient anymore. And I want to add to that, it's like, yes, that's because people are trying to block advertisement out of their lives. So it's not everybody perceives it. And there's still people that would enjoy it, but not everybody perceives it as the ideal way to communicate with brands anymore. It becomes more of a nuisance to them. Social media, more and more, social media becomes kind of the channels that people are looking at. We're now on LinkedIn, right? I mean, this is where we are.
Yeah.
There's TikTok just popped up and just took over the world, right? Like, especially for the younger generation. Instagram, we cannot even think about a life without Instagram anymore. And some people may already challenge whether Facebook is still an efficient way to communicate. But social media has basically taken over. And what's important about social media is sharing what you're experiencing. I'm eating this food. I'm in this location. These are my friends. This is the club I'm in. This is the kind of sharing moments that people have, and that sharing their experiences, what that is all about. And that's what we try to achieve: is create an experience that people want to share. Let's create a running experience in the Nike shop that people can share. Let's create a brand activation for Volkswagen where kids can play and then they can share a little video on their TikTok. So we're
What you're
trying to always
doing,
integrate that. Yeah,
yeah, actually, what you're doing, you advertise, not directly but indirectly through people who will share their brand experience over social media instead of bombarding
absolutely.
directly.